The Sacred That Surrounds Us is a new book from Ascension Press that talks about how everything in a Catholic church points to heaven. I am going to be doing something a little different to start off today's video. I am going to give you 5 terms, and for each one you know, you get a point. And you can use your hand as your scorecard, so just keep track on your hand as we go through. Now, this will be on the honor system, so I'm trusting in you to be accurate with your score. Only give yourself the point if you are confident that you know what this item is. Are you ready? Prove your Catholic knowledge. Number 1, aspergillum. Number 2, corporal. Number 3, ambry. Number 4, ablutions bowl or cup. And finally, number 5, humeral veil. Okay, now add up your score. How did you do? Share it in the comments below. But the reason that I did that little game is because there is a book that gives you every single one of those words, the origins, the information, along with beautiful pictures. Hello to those of you who are new. I'm Kenzie, the overnight mom from YouTube, and today I wanted to share with you a book that was sent to me by Ascension Press, and it is called The Sacred That Surrounds Us. I think that is such a beautiful title, and it says how everything in a Catholic church points to heaven. I've been reading through this book the last few days, and it is so cool. It's one of those books that you want to have on your bookshelf to reference throughout time. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos before, I think it is so important to be able to defend our faith, to be able to know why we believe what we believe, why we do what we do. And this book is great for answering why the physical objects that are in churches and being used by priests, why we use those objects. So it's not so much about the gestures, but about the actual objects in a church building. As a cradle Catholic, there are so many little nuances and subtleties of our faith that we take for granted because we've seen them throughout our whole lives. And so this book is great if you're like me and you grew up in the church, to have a better understanding and be more intentional about knowing what the objects are. But what's really cool about this is it was actually written by a convert to the faith. And that's what I love so much about converts, because they're the ones who are asking questions, and they are really seeking out to find specific answers and educating themselves about every detail of our faith. So it makes sense that this would have been written by a convert. So it's pretty cool. In The Sacred That Surrounds Us, there are 4 main things that the author talks about with each item in the book. It gives at least one historical fact. It provides at least one symbolic reality, basically answering the question, what is this item pointing us toward? Thirdly, each item has a beautiful, high-quality image of that item on the description page. The photos in this book are so crisp and clear. And at the bottom of each description is a quote either taken from scripture or by the church fathers that correlates with that specific item. It provides some of the Latin origins behind how the names got their name. And overall, my favorite thing is that it's easily digestible, very clear imagery, clear descriptions. How cool would this be if, as a gift, like let's say you were sponsoring somebody for confirmation, and on the inside, you just wrote a nice message about the day, but reminding and encouraging them to always constantly grow to learn their faith more and become more familiar with why we believe what we believe, why we have what we have in our churches. This book to me is an excellent way to teach children about each of the objects in church. And it would be fun to bring this book along with you to your church, or if you're visiting a different parish or a cathedral, and be able to identify each of the objects and where they're at in that church. As soon as I first started looking through this book, I was instantly reminded of my first date with my husband. Long story short, he invited me to go to daily mass with him. And I actually said no because I am not a morning person and I really didn't want to wake up early. That's just how it was. So then, being sly, he said, well, I know of a church that does Mass in the evening. Do you want to go to that with me? At that point, he was already accommodating my time schedule, and I didn't really want to pass up Mass, an opportunity to go. And so I said, okay, I'll go with you. And after Mass had ended, we spent some time just walking around and soaking up the beauty of that cathedral. And what was really interesting is Mario knew all these little details about the symbolism and the origins of a bunch of the items in this cathedral. Like there were some pelicans on the altar, and he knew exactly what they meant and why there were 3 of them and all of this stuff. And as we were praying together and walking around, I just kept thinking, oh no, I'm like falling in love with this person. And later on we ended up getting married, and it's pretty cool. But at the time I was very impressed by his knowledge of the items in this church that I didn't really think about or didn't care to look more deeply in, and he knew all these stats. So singles out there, if you're trying to impress your date, pick this up. Worked for my husband. I've been learning so many interesting things from this, and I think that you will enjoy it too. You can't go wrong with Ascension, the sacred that surrounds us. How everything in a Catholic church points to heaven. Thank you for watching, and I would love for you to be a subscriber if you aren't already. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.